We are 2 minutes in, so I will actually start to share my screen so we can get going and kick this webinar off. So, as I said, today we will go through 5 underestimated features in Teamtailor. We have picked and chosen a few ones that we think that everyone needs to have more information about and that we want you to start using, of course, and try it out after this webinar. So to just start, we will begin with a feature that is called custom fields. So I will start with going to our settings view. And if I scroll down here on the left side, we have recruitment. And in here, you can find custom fields. This is not a feature that you need to activate. It is actually already there from the start. So you can just go in here and discover it. We have 2 different custom fields, as you can see. We have candidates and we also have for jobs. So just to quickly tell you a little bit about it, we have the candidate custom field that will be displayed on the candidate card. So as you can see, we have created 4 custom fields on the candidate card, just to give you some examples. It is very easy to create your first custom field if you don't have any, and you do that as usual on the pink plus button, new custom field, and then you can create field type and also add the title, which is the name of the custom field. So, for example, in my case, I have created one for salary expectations. I want that to be displayed on my candidate card, and I will also show you later on how it will be displayed. But if I click on this, you can see that I chose to have a number as a field type. You can also have multiple selection, you can have text, you can have several different options, URL link, etc. So go in there and discover the options you have. And once you chose the field type, you can also just name the title. In my case, it's salary expectations. You also have a few settings to choose from, which is, for example, private, if you only want the field to be visible and also editable for recruitment leads, recruitment admins, and company admin roles. You have the setting featured, which means that the field will always show, even if it's empty, which means that you can always see it on the candidate card, even though there is no value in it, basically. And you can also choose to not show it in internal filters, which means that you hide it in the candidate filters. Once you have saved this, you will see it in this list, and then you can see the field type, the visibility, if it's searchable, when it's created, and how many times it's used. You can create how many you want to. So as I said, go in there and discover how you can use it. But some typical examples could be the number of vacation days that the candidate is asking for, or what language they mainly speak, or number of days they want to work remote, etc. So you can use it in many different ways. You also have custom fields when it comes to jobs. And this is also something we actually have pre-created in the system when it comes to remote status, employment type, salary, and employment level. And these ones you can just toggle on and off, and we have a few pre-created options for you here. But you can also create your own, of course. So in my case, I have created 2 custom fields. One is start date for the position, and one is number of vacation days, just as an example. Same here. If I want to create a new custom field, I just go to the plus. I choose the field type. Here you can see, for example, text, number, select, multi-select, true, false, etc. And when it comes to the job custom fields, you will be able to choose if they should be visible in the job ad. I will again show you very soon how that looks. You can also choose if it should be required that you need to fill it out to add a job, or if you don't want it to be shown in the internal filters. It's very good to share if you want to share some specific information together with a candidate that, for example, the start date should be the 1st of April, etc. It's very nice to have it stated clear in the job ad, for example. So to show you how this can look, I will start to show you a job custom field. I can just go into one of my jobs. I will take the sales manager for now, and I go into the edit mode. So when I have created a job custom field, I will be able to see them down here in the job posting page. So I can add my start date, I can add my number of vacation days, and when I then take a look at the job ad, I will be able to scroll down, and in the little gray box here, you will be able to see the custom fields displayed. So very easy and simple and nice to have it collected for the candidate and very visible. And when it comes to the candidate custom fields, I can just go into a candidate in my candidate pool. I will click on Melker here, for example, and on the left side, you will be able to see the custom fields I created for the candidates. So when I, for example, have the discussion together with this candidate, I can add their salary expectations, the number of vacation days they're asking for, what language they speak, etc. So it's very handy to have custom fields both for jobs and also in the candidate card. We will move over from the custom field sections and go over to our segment part that is actually a bit related to custom fields, or it can be related at least. So while we are in here in the candidate pool, I want to show you how you can use and work with segments. So in the candidate pool, you will always have a little segment button up to the right. So in this case, it's opened, but of course you can have it closed depending on how you work with your system. And segments could be based on several different things. And you will always have pre-created segments based on your departments, but also roles, for example. So they are already there from the start. So if you go in here, you will probably discover that it looks already segmented based on department and your roles. So for example, in our case, we have customer success as a department. And if I just toggle that down, I will be able to see the different roles. And every candidate that matches these segments will be displayed in these filters, basically. You can, of course, create your own segments as well. And that is what we want to highlight today. You can either, if I scroll down, create company segments, which means that I can share these segments together with my colleagues that also have the access to the candidate pool. But I can also create my own segments if I'm working, for example, for a specific department, or if I want to see every candidate that knows JavaScript, for example. Then I maybe want to create a segment for myself to be very easily able to filter on those candidates. I will show you how to create a segment on your own really quick. And by doing that, you need to add a filter, or at least one. You can create more or add more filters. So if I click on the plus sign up here, I will be able to choose from several different filters. And as you can see, we have, for example, candidate details, we have candidate status, application stage, dates, rating, partner results, etc. So you can really filter this down on a detailed level if you want to, but it can also be very simple, such as filtering on a CV text, for example. So let's say that we, for example, want to find candidates that add JavaScript to their CV, and we want everyone to be shown in this filter. We can just add that. So we can add includes JavaScript, done. Then we see that we actually have 2 candidates that are matching this, this filter. And maybe it's also important for me to be able to see how many vacation days they have asked for. So let's say that we add equals 30 to this segment as well. And I click done. And then we can see that I have Natalia as the one matching at the moment. But of course, after when people applies, and I will add, or we will have more people applying to jobs with the CV text JavaScript, and with that we will add the vacation days 32. they will automatically come into this segment that I will now create. So this is a live filter. If candidates are matching this filter, they will of course land here automatically when you have created it. So what I will do then is that I will click on Save as Segment, and then I will name it JavaScript plus 30 vacation days, for example. I can just add the emoji if I want to. And then here I can also choose if I want to make this filter or segment appear for all users, or if I actually want to have it just to myself. So if I click Make Segment Appear for All Users and create it, it will be under Company Segments here to the right, as you can see at the bottom. Here I will also see just in a very small number how many candidates I have in this segment at the moment, which is 1, for example. In this way, you can work really smart with your candidate pool and easily find candidates that will match the criteria that you need or the skills you need at the moment. What I also want to add to this is that I want to show you that you also are able to customize columns when it comes to your candidate pool. So up here next to the bottom with segments, you will find customize columns. And here you can easily choose what columns you want to be visible in the candidate pool. So for example, now in this filter, I also chose that for me, I want to easily see the vacation days that people have asked for. Then I can just tick this in and I will see here when I scroll to the right, vacation days 30. In this way, I can also very easily get an overview of my candidates and the columns that I think is important. So you can see up here which ones that are chosen, and you can just make it more or less by ticking it on and off in the customize column section. Nice. That is everything about segments. So again, go ahead and try to create your first segment by using the filters, and don't make it too hard. You can just do it by easily adding one filter, and then you can create a segment based on that. We will move over to our third underestimated feature, which is actually related to content. So we will move along to content and to our main career page. What we want to show you today here is that you can actually create something that is called page templates. You easily do that by clicking the plus, and then you have a template section. So what is this? And I will tell you more about what this actually means. As you know, we have job templates, we have message templates, etc. But we also have page templates for you to in an easier way, actually create specific templates when it comes to maybe, for example, departments or a specific group that you want to target with this information that you add to the template. So in my example that I want to show you, I created a page template for my sales department, which means that when I create a job within sales, I can easily choose inside of the edit job part. If I scroll down, you will be able to find under appearance, the page template. Here you usually have the plain one and visual one, but again, you can create even more to make it more detailed and specified for specific target groups. So I have chose to add one that is called Sales Department. And if I go back to the Content tab and just quickly go into the Sales Department, I want to display a few things that is just related to my sales employees at my company. So since you will add this to a specific job ad, we have a few parts that will automatically be filled out. For example, the cover, it will automatically be the job ad picture, and the description will automatically be the job ad text. I will show you a better example in just a minute. But if I scroll down below the recruiter, you can see that I have a couple of fields that I can just choose to add to the job ad. So what do I think is important for people to know that actually go to this job ad? maybe I want to highlight some specific benefits that is just related to the sales department. I maybe want to highlight a few numbers that is just related to the sales department or more interesting for the sales department. And this could also, of course, create a bigger interest and attract the right candidates or more candidates in a better way. So I have just added as an example here that, for example, sales department maybe have commission or specific performance bonuses. We have flexible work options, we have team activities, etc. And when I come to numbers, of course, it may be interesting to know for the salespeople how many deals this specific company closed 2024, how many new sales member you had, etc. And that's maybe not the important part when you hire a developer. Maybe there are other numbers or other benefits that they have that you want to raise when it comes to those departments or that target group instead. It could also be, for example, that you want to specify that you are looking for students or newly graduated people, more female developers, etc. You can really be creative in here and think big. So again, try to create a template. You don't need to make it too big, but when you do that and you add it to your job ads, it will look really nice. So as an example here, I have added the template to my sales manager role. Same as usual, I have my job ad cover. I have my job ad text. I will also further down come to, again, the custom fields that we created before and who is the recruiter. But if I continue to scroll, I will see the benefits that is picked up by the page template. And I will also be able to see the numbers, etc. And of course, be able to apply. So page template is something that is not used in the way that we think it could actually be used. And in this view, you can also see how many times you have been using the template. That's why it says 1 in this little corner here. Nice. We will move on to the next one. That is the 4th underestimated feature we have as a topic today, which is related to candidates. So I will go into a job that we have in our job pool that is a front-end developer. This is actually a feature that we have had before, but we have an updated version now, and that's why we want to highlight it even more since it's become even better. And that is the feature that is called Compare Candidates. This is also a feature that you don't have to activate. It's already there, so you can just start using it whenever you want to. But how it works is basically that you can compare candidates that is in a specific stage or that is in more than one stage. So you could also compare, for example, everyone that is in reviewing and phone interview together, depending on what you want. But I will start to show you how you do it in a specific stage. So in this stage, we have 5 candidates. I want to know who I should actually move forward to an interview stage. So I click on the 3 dots and I click on Compare Candidates. In here, I will now get a lot of different fields to the left that I can choose to display. And I will be able to compare the candidates with all these different information. So we have, for example, the overall candidate rating, application date, CV summary, if you use Copilot, comments, custom fields that we recently talked about. It's also very interesting to see what did they actually expect when it comes to salary, etc. We also have that you can compare the different interview questions that you asked them in the first interview, etc. And skills and traits, and also questions. So again, this feature actually have existed for a couple of months at least. But now what is new is that you are able to see the answers and comments in the interview section or for the different interviews. You will also be able to see the screening criteria if you're using that via Copilot. Also the application date and also what current stage they're in. So it has even more to it now compared to before. From this view, I can also easily choose that I want to move candidates forward to interview, and I can also from this view reject them. And of course, same as in the other view, you can also bulk select and you can reject several people or move several people. So it's very handy when it comes to getting an overview of all of your candidates and who you should actually move forward with to make the right decision. If you want to do it by several stages, you can easily click bulk select, choose what candidates you want to compare. I also add Valentina here from the reviewing stage, and then you get the button down here, compare, and then you do the same thing. So it's totally up to you who you want to compare and how many candidates you want to compare. A really good feature, if you ask me, to easily save time and get a better overview. Nice. We're actually moving over to the last part, and we will go to another section that is analytics in this case. So in the previous webinars, if you have been a part of those, we have talked a bit about our custom reports feature. If you haven't seen those, you can easily find them on our support page. But custom reports are also a feature that is very appreciated, and therefore we have also, of course, developed it even more. So when you work with custom reports, what is a very asked question is if you can actually schedule these reports and send them to your colleagues or to people in the organization, basically. And the answer to that is now yes, you can schedule them. So if I go into custom reports, and in this case, we have pre-created a few custom reports. If you haven't done that, of course, you need to do that by clicking the plus sign. But otherwise, it's just easy as you go into the specific report, and then you can just take the three dots up here and click schedule report. So what you can do is that you can either choose by people that is added as employees to the platform. You can just pick and choose whoever should get this report, but you can also add an external email. So they don't have to be invited to the system to be able to get the scheduled report. You can send it to how many as you want to. You can choose to edit the email subject, what time you want it to be sent, and also what time zone. And then also how often you want it to be sent. So maybe it is every week or every month. And you can easily just click what day you want it to be sent on. And then you will see the upcoming report schedule. So when it is supposed to be sent. This is really nice, and you will receive the data as the CSV files, same as when you download it directly. Really handy if you want to work more with your data and with your different reporting. I also want to add as a last comment to if you work with custom fields, as we talked about in the start, you will be able to actually filter on them in the custom reports as well. So that's also another thing why you should actually use custom fields. The only field type that is not searchable in custom fields is the text field, because of course that's very hard for the system to know exactly how you write things, etc. But all the other fields you will be able to add to your custom reports. So that's also something you can try out, to add custom fields into custom reports and get better data overview. That was all the 5 underestimated features that we wanted you to see today. And we hope that you feel inspired and that you will try some of these out. Always, as usual, reach out to support if there is any questions or if you need help with anything. They reply to you in just a couple of minutes. And otherwise, we want to thank you so much for coming to this webinar, and we wish you a good week.